Hi, welcome to Pause and Paint with Natalie. I am really excited to paint a really nice, relaxing painting today. We're doing a beautiful eagle in flight. I want to invite you to trace your eagle onto your canvas, but of course you can create your own, and if you're an artist already, it's going to be easier. But I just looked at a picture on my phone for the background so that I could get an idea of the different colors I wanted to use. What I want to tell you now is, if you're a beginner, let's just do a silhouette of an eagle and create just a nice blue background. You can also just do blue sky and your beach just beige. You don't have to do the color transitions, but I'm using white, yellow, a gold, yellow, and blue. I'm going to also be using a brown that I'm adding a little bit later on. But for those who don't know me, my name is Natalie, and I love to uplift and empower women through creativity, painting workshops, and Bible journaling. So if you're new, please consider subscribing. Hit that little subscribe button and also hit the little bell so that you get my notifications. As always, I'm going to share with you in the descriptions the different things I'm using for my painting. But right now, just mix a very easy blue sky color, and as I said, you don't have to do all the color transitions that I'm showing. You can just do a very plain and just one color background for if you're a beginner. Of course, if you're a little bit more advanced and you want to play with some color transitions, follow along. And I'm just using watered down acrylics, so I'm using quite a bit of water, and I like to just kind of blend colors. I'm mixing blue, a lighter blue with white, and now I just added just a nice light brown with white, and I just go straight onto the canvas and do my color transitions with a lot of water. As you can see, I'm just going over my work that's already kind of on the canvas, and I just add brush strokes very spontaneously of white. Right now I'm going across what's going to be the beach. So I'm just going to invite you to just really do what feels right. If you don't feel comfortable with creating the sky and the clouds and everything, just don't, and have fun tracing your eagle. You can look in the description. I'm giving you the eagle that I use so that you can print your eagle and use a transfer paper. I'm giving you a peace sign right now because I realized that my light was off, so that's why it was a little bit dark, and now it's a little brighter. I have light. Things are doing better. But anyway, I just added a little bit of a wash of like ocean color at the bottom. And things are just drying right now. My canvas is wet. I'm adding layers of colors, but I'm keeping my acrylics nice and wet with a lot of water so that it doesn't dry too quickly, because there are a lot of color transitions. So right now I'm just creating the background, some mountains in the background of my eagle, and then the beach on one side is going to be sand, and then the ocean is on the right side. I'm using a picture that I found on my phone, and I'm just kind of using it as my inspiration. So if you're just going with a blue background right now, just have fun adding. If you want a little bit of white clouds, that would be just fun. And again, if you're a beginner, this is gonna be a nice practice for you to use the palette knife, because I'm gonna introduce that in just a minute. So a little closer view of my sand, adding some white. At this point, my canvas is drying, and you can start adding the brighter colors. A little bit of green right now, a little bit of blue, but very light touches. I'm using my brush, just going back and forth from left to right, up and down in very light touches. I'm not using a lot of paint on my brush. I'm using very little paint, a little bit at a time, and I'm covering a lot of ground because I'm moving fast and I'm adding a lot of water. I'm going back to play with my sky a little bit more. I want to add some of those white clouds. I think it would look nice just the way it is, but I'm just going a little bit more advanced in my tutorial. So I'm going to be choosing a palette knife that's very flexible. I want a soft one. So I'm going to play with my brush and my palette knife at the same time, using both my hands. So I'm just creating some clouds, and I think the trick with the palette knife is to just go with the brush and then go over with the knife until you're happy with it. I think you need to work at it for a while. The palette knife doesn't necessarily give you the desired result right away. You have to see how I'm going back with my brush, I'm adding more with my knife, going back with the brush, back and forth. This is very intuitive, and there's not really a technique except that I want to have those little natural strokes, like kind of cloud-like. So I have to go quite a few times over my brush strokes so that it eventually gives it to me. It's just like those little puffy clouds. You can either get it right away or it takes quite a few tries, but I would invite you to practice on a practice canvas because it's a little tricky to do palette knife. Right now I went back with my large brush and I'm creating the right side of the mountains, which are going to be blue mountains. So they're kind of merging from sand to like the ocean would be reflecting on the mountains. I'm kind of just following the image that I picked on my phone. It gave me a really nice ending result. I gotta say, but it's very spontaneous. I didn't really prepare for this. I don't do these kinds of paintings very often, but one of my clients asked me for an eagle, and this was the first one that I did. She actually picked another one that I created, which is an orange background. So that's another idea. You could totally do an orange sky and just kind of have fun with different colors and just keep it simple. So I'm doing a little circle for the sun using a sponge to smooth out my sun. Now with some gold yellow, I'm just adding a little bit of warmth to my painting. Very light touches. This whole painting is very light, except for my silhouette, of course. This is where I start really applying with a small brush a thicker coat of paint. This is dark brown first, and I'm going to apply a black over the entire brown paint. It's just to give me a little bit more texture to my bird. I'm using a smaller brush right now. And I'm doing little brush strokes, creating the feathers. Basically, the size of my brush is what's creating the effect, the feather effect. So I'm going on a second coat with brown, and then I'm going to actually add black. Here's my bird painted black, and I'm doing little touches with a small brush. I'm doing the reflection of the sun with white mixed with yellow. Little brush strokes. You can add more if you want more reflection in your water. I'm also adding a little bit of yellow on those clouds that I finally was able to achieve with my palette knife. And now I'm gonna just add some highlights to my eagle. Small little brush strokes. A little bit of yellow and white. Here I go with my palette knife again. I just want to get some more of those clouds. And see how it just doesn't come easy, but I'm not giving up. And finally, I'm just gonna go for it. At one point, you just have to press a little bit harder and just go for it. This takes a little courage because at this point my painting is almost done. So adding the clouds at the end like this, it just kind of took a little bit of a lot of faith and just knowing that this is paint, and if I didn't like it, I could always just add a little bit of blue over it. No big deal. So now I'm adding this really pretty moss color. I just added some light white to my ocean blue color, and it's creating this really cool textured color over the water. I really like it. It's just something that I like to do at the end, is just add more brush strokes or palette knife strokes. And more to the sky. At this point I have a little bit of that moss color in the sky as well. I really liked how it turned out. I do have my clouds. Yay, I didn't give up. And see, I have that nice kind of Connecticut sky. I'm really happy how it turned out. And again, if you're new, I hope you just did a plain background just so you could have fun with it. Practice and you'll get better. So, hey, I hope you had fun watching my video. Until my next recording, stay creative. Bye.